Hello and good morning. Happy Saturday, April 2nd. I'm Casey Durango of Go Keto with Casey, where I talk about how I've lost 97.4 pounds since starting the ketogenic protocol, how you may be able to lose weight, improve your health, and regain control of your life like I did. Hi. Please, if someone can let me know if you can see and hear me, that would be great. There's always something, right? And hello to you who are chiming in now. Today this morning it's 9 a.m. Eastern as opposed to noon Eastern when I usually go live for these public YouTube live streams. But I did put out a poll because last Saturday I went on at 9 a.m. because we had family coming in, which was great, by the way. We had a lovely day. And people seemed to kind of like it. So I put out a poll. Thank you to those people who responded. And almost 2/3 of the people replied, it doesn't really matter. I never watch it live anyway. I watch the replay. Just under a third said, move to 9 a.m. Eastern. That'll make it easier. And only like 9% said, keep it where it is. So here we are. Maybe I'll change things up. Enough of that. So I'm going to make the text bigger so maybe I can. Okay, Christy Calichica, good morning to everyone. Up and early. So 9 a.m. is early for the West Coasters. Can you see and hear me? Yes. Okay. Okay. The title says it all. Keto fakes and fakers. And the faking fakers who fake. It's become a little ridiculous. And for some circumstances, verging on the very tacky. The way some people, personalities, companies, and it's not just food manufacturers are supposed to try to sell food. They're supposed to try to get us to buy their stuff. I cannot fault food manufacturers for slapping the word keto on everything. When the phrase keto dies down, as it will, there will be the next one. For a while there it was paleo. Everything was paleo. And some are still, paleo. I love it when it's like paleo brownie mix. Really? Do we think Paleolithic humans were eating brownies? So I don't fault the food manufacturers. They're not the fakes. They're being real. They're trying to sell something. Food. I do fault people who push things either unwittingly because they're ignorant of the actual protocol, but they want to jump on the wagon. You don't want to miss out. FOMO, fear of missing out on the big payday with keto. That's not cool. And some people who know better, and they don't want to miss out on the payday either. I'm going to share with you, and all I can do is share my experience and my understanding of things. I'm fortunate in that I'm friends with some of the literal world experts on this topic. So I was born under a lucky star. What can I say? Keep your carbs 20 grams or fewer a day. Total carbs, not net. If it's not on page 4, link below, don't eat it, but you don't even need a food list. It's fatty sources of protein, limited amounts of full-fat dairy, limited amounts of non-starchy vegetables. And I mean limited. Okay, so that's the food. Fatty sources of protein. What does that mean? That means eat the eggs with the yolks, the poultry with the skin, the bacon with the fat, the sausage with the fat, the pork chop with the fat, the ribeye with the fat, the chuck roast with the fat that comes with the protein, as nature designed it. So don't eat if you're not hungry. That is the part that many of us find the most challenging, because some of us don't even know what actual hunger feels like. But don't eat if you're not hungry. Stop eating when you're satiated. Not stop eating when you're about to pop. So that's the protocol. Keep your carbs 20 grams or fewer a day, total not net. If it's not on page 4, link below. Don't eat it. Don't eat if you're not hungry. Stop when you're satiated. You know what it's not? It's not exogenous ketones, which means exogenous means coming from outside of the body. So there are people peddling exogenous ketones. There's some brand names that you may or may not have heard of. Pretty much they're multi-level marketing things. The people peddling those pretty much don't care whether you ever get in ketosis. They want other people to start selling the things under their umbrella. And exogenous ketones don't do a daggone thing for you. There may be some therapeutic use for them. Therapeutic. Treating there's experiments, there's research going on for would exogenous ketones assist in some neurological situations. But for nutritional ketosis, meaning I want to come off of insulin and I want to lose some body fat and I want to, you know, be able to fit in my clothes I used to wear, that's nutritional ketosis. That is done by laying off the carbs. You don't need to eat or drink anything to have that happen. By the way, consuming exogenous ketones, drinking ketones, may result in you getting a positive reading on if you measure for ketosis. You can measure by urine strips, or the gold standard at this point is still blood. I recommend the Keto Mojo. I use it. I for years used the Precision Extra by Abbott Laboratories, but the testing strips were quite expensive. Keto Mojo, I like the device a little bit better, and I find the strips more affordable. I don't test often, but when I do, that's what I use. Anyway, you may get a positive reading because you're taking exogenous ketones. Well, you might as well just take the urine strip and stick it in the jar of ketones. That's what you're getting the reading from. It's like if you really want to get pregnant and you want that pregnancy test to give you the "you're pregnant" message, and someone can sell you a product that you can consume that will result in you getting a "you're pregnant" message on your testing thing, that's fine. Except what if you're not pregnant? It's just telling you that you're pregnant because you've consumed this product. That's kind of the same way with exogenous ketones for nutritional purposes. There are no food products or kits or supplements or shakes or powders that will get you where you want to go if what you want to do is improve your health and lose body fat and feel better about yourself and get your brain back. How do you do that? You lay off the carbs. You keep your carbs low. That's it. That's all you need to do. There is not a product you can purchase, no matter who is telling you that will help with this process. Now, I will sell you water bottles and mugs and a t-shirt, "I'm stronger than a cookie," and 12-month record journals and magnets all day long, but they won't help get you in ketosis either. Most of these things were suggested or requested by people who reach out to me and say, "Hey, what about a mug that says so and so?" So that's different. And if there's anyone out there trying to parlay their online presence, glomming off of either someone else's online presence or trying to confuse you or trying to gum up the works, be wary. It happens. It does. Like when the interwebs first got going, people would, there's a website, whitehouse.gov. The whitehouse.gov, you can go there. Well, someone made a whitehouse.com site. It was a porn site. They just knew, someone's going to, say White House. So people try to fool you. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. If I don't know. some fakers are just fake. They're just, I don't know how they sleep at night. And people who know better, really know better, and peddle things, well, I don't know. For those of you who don't know, I was morbidly obese from my mid-20s to my mid-50s. I had given up on losing weight. You can see photos of myself, not many, because not many exist, from my mid-heaviest, not my heaviest, because those photos don't exist. And I gave up on trying to lose weight. I tried for 30 years. I didn't want to take insulin for type 2 diabetes. I typed how to not take insulin for type 2 diabetes. I came across the white coat video of my now friend, Eric Westman. And it was keep your carbs 20 grams or fewer a day, total not net. If it's not on page 4, page 4 comes from the handout he gives to this day to his clinic patients at Duke University. And the food list happens to be on page 4. After the first 3 pages are something else. Don't eat if you're not hungry. Stop when you're satiated. That's it. Now, please be wary. Dr. Westman has coined the phrase internet keto. You could find something that will back up almost any weird thing on any topic, on everything from how to raise chickens and get them to start laying eggs. I mean, there's entire channels on how to get a chicken to start laying an egg, when all you have to do is wait for them to become old enough to lay an egg. You can't really trick a chicken into laying an egg if they're not yet old enough to lay an egg. From that to, there's an answer for everything, and there's a different channel for it, and there's conflicting information. Do what works for you. Absolutely do what works for you. And lots of different ways can be helpful to different people. For me, this worked beautifully. I've been weight stable for going on 6 years, certainly over 5 years. And I feel great. And I'm healthy. And my blood sugar, I took it this morning. I've started testing on Saturday mornings because of a different experiment I have going on about body composition, because I want to build skeletal muscle mass, because I want to be strong and I want a strong core. Okay. I am kind of concerned that, did we go blank here? Okay, good. Good morning from Pittsburgh. Okay. I can't really see very well because my screen is very dark and I've got lights shining on me. So, fake keto, keto fakes, and fakers. There was a book titled Lying Liars and the Liars Who Lie, or something like that. Faking fakers and the fakers who fake. Don't be fooled. Again, food manufacturers, their job is to sell us stuff. And I guess people who are peddling or this is nothing new. You've heard the phrase snake oil salesman. This is back in the Wild West. So-called medicine men would come out with their elixir that would solve so many problems. It was generally really high-proof alcohol in little bottles. And yeah, it made you feel better for a minute because you were drunk. But anyway, this is nothing new. A few weeks ago, I did a live stream titled, I can't remember what it was, Hucksters. P.T. Barnum of Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey circus fame is quoted as saying, "There's a sucker born every minute." And so this is not new. Don't be a sucker. Keep your carbs 20 grams or fewer a day, total, not net. You don't need a meal plan. I've been asked, what's a meal plan? I'm not going to do that. Because if you have a meal plan, you start eating the meal plan whether you're hungry or not, or whether it makes sense for you or not. Come up with your own meal plan. I don't share what I eat every day because I don't want anyone to think that they should be eating as much or as little as I eat. I don't share my weight. I don't want anyone thinking they should weigh as much or as little as I do. I'm 5'1". I'm at a stage of life. I have a certain body composition. I am me. I am no one else, by the way, and no one else is me. If you needed a reminder, we are all our own person. One of the quotes in this book, Go Keto with Casey's 12-month record book, which you can see at my blog. And it was really an experiment, and it was kind of a fun thing for me to put together when my husband was out of the country for a month. Put some quotes in. And one is a quote attributed to Oscar Wilde. Be yourself. Everyone else has been taken. I am myself. I don't try to be anyone else. And really, no one else should try to be me. Frankly, they wouldn't be able to pull it off. How's that for confidence? Okay, I'm going to turn my attention to comments. And then I want to spend the last couple of minutes hearing success stories. Share your story, whether it's a weight loss, coming off of meds, influencing other people. I got a message this morning. A person was able to fit in jeans they had not been able to wear in years, and they're a slim fit. There you go. So pardon my glasses. Yeah, I just jump in where I see exogenous ketones cost a fortune. The phrase expensive pee comes to mind. Karen Trout, hi from South Africa. Judy Tucker, if you really want proof, do keto and have your blood work tested. That will be the best proof. Works for me. Judy, you want to share your story, sister girl? Christy Cali Chica, not to mention the overpriced keto products out there that are inflated for greed. Keep it simple, silly. Again, food manufacturers, that's their job. It'll be something else. The seaweed diet will come out, or the krill diet. Eat like the whales eat, which would not be very smart. Will come out. Someone will manufacture, I'm sure, something that is, a blood type cookie mix, which sounds gruesome. I guess they wouldn't want blood in the name of their product, but you know what I'm saying. Good morning from Pittsburgh. Terry writes, I love keeping it simple. It works for me. Let me see. Hey, Derek Cameron, success story. A1C reduced from 7.0 to 5.3 in 3 months. I love that. For those of you who don't know, hemoglobin A1C is a blood test. Now, how they do this, I don't know. But it is supposed to be an average of your blood sugar based on a scale over the last 3 months or so. So 5.6 is considered okay. 5.6 is good, normal. 5.7, you might be getting to, there are people who have had A1Cs of 13 and have come down. So 5.6 or lower is great. My last blood work, I think my A1C was 4.6. Which is great. I do not have metabolic syndrome. I am metabolically healthy. Never thought I'd say that because I come from a long line of metabolically screwed up people. Anyone else? And you don't have to wait for the last few minutes. Share your success. I really like the stories of people who say, I started doing this, and my niece who's 17 and has been struggling with her weight since she was 11, because that's happening. There are 7-year-olds who are being diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, which used to be a disease of middle age because it was chronic. It had to build up. But now there's such a flood of carbs with zero nutrition. By the way, do any of us think that children need cookies and chips and fries and full fat sodas and fruit juice? No. It's all sugar, 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 sugar. And on top of that, there's no nutrition. Now, vegetables have carbs. That's why the vegetables are restricted or limited on, if you're following the protocol, to about a cup a day of non-starchy vegetables, about a cup before they're cooked, and about 2 cups a day of leafy greens before they're cooked. I really have kind of I've not had vegetables to speak of in the last couple of weeks. It's part of my experiment. I'm not carnivore. That's not, I don't want to label it. And I don't want to go into what I'm doing. It's nothing dramatic. I'm just being very conscientious about certain things. I do have like half an avocado, which is technically a fruit. Um, and it's nutrient dense. But the reason that the vegetables are limited is because that's where the carbs are. About a cup of non-starchy vegetables before cooked and about 2 cups of leafy greens a day will get you to about 10 or 12 grams of carbohydrate. If you're trying to keep it under 20, you're pushing it. I'm going to go back to my screen. Sue W. writes, success, inflammation is so much better. I never knew it would be this good. It is so unbelievable. People don't believe it, which is another phrase from Dr. Westman. One of the first things I noticed, because I was sore all the time, everywhere, everything hurt. Within probably 10 days, I noticed that my hands, my joints didn't hurt. Now, someone would say, well, of course your joints hurt. You're a big fat person. I mean, no one ever said that to my face, but they might have thought it. But I didn't walk on my hands. There was no reason my hands should have been so sore and my wrists. It just resolved. Terry, Casey writes, Casey, I got my mom on keto about 6 weeks ago after a scary doctor visit. She's totally committed and has already dropped 20 pounds. Kudos to her and kudos to you. Kudos to her because I'm going to guess you're not 12, so your mother's not 24. Well, that wouldn't be right. Your mother's not, well, we had our children young. Anyway, she's made a change. It's never too late. That's another quote in this book attributed to George Eliot, who was actually the pen name of Mary Ann Evans. It's never too late to be what you might have been. I was 55 the day I started. It was a Wednesday. I didn't wait till Monday. When I said, keep your carbs light, I'm going to do it because I don't want to take insulin for type 2 diabetes. Don't wait. Judy Tucker writes, April 1st, 2017. Hey, you just had your anniversary. 5-year anniversary. I've lost 135 pounds off of over 10 medications, and my blood work is perfect. Bone density test, perfect. No aches and pains, and I will be 70 years young. That is fantastic. Love Judy Tucker. Now, I gave the little thing about the, shameless commerce division with a nod to the Car Talk guys about the books in a minute. I will want to say hello and a shout out to patrons. I have a Patreon support group, private. Frankly, that's where the bulk of my work is. It's not on YouTube or in any of that. The bulk of my time is spent in this private support group at Patreon. And there's some patrons here. And depending on your pledge level, you get, starting at $5, you get 20 pre-recorded video morning snippets from me, topics suggested by the patrons. Up from there, a handful of patron-only live streams on Crowdcast. Up from there, a handful of patron-only video group sessions on Zoom. And then up from there, a monthly one-on-one with me. And depending on your pledge level, every quarter or so, I send out cards that I design and have printed. This one says, lay off the carbs, lay off the excuses. If I can do this, you can do this. And I write little notes on the back. It takes me forever because there are hundreds of them. And I handwrite the notes and I hand address the envelope. So those are going out starting today. My mom is 82. Let's give a round of applause for Terry and her mom. Sue W., way to go, Judy. That's awesome. Judy writes, love my friend Casey, my inspiration. Well, you inspire me and other people. And Judy, did you not get pushback from your obese doctor saying this will kill you or you'll never be able to do this? Judy Porterfield, great job, Judy Tucker. Magic Mia's Trailer Park Garden. I love that handle. Hey, I'm late for the date. That's okay. By the way, I will keep this at 9 o'clock on Saturdays because that was the poll results. If it turns out do something different, I I will continue to do public content as long as anyone's interested. Those to whom much is given, much is expected. I've been extremely blessed. I started doing this not because I thought, ooh, keto, that'd be great. Let me start a keto channel. No, I did this because I felt like I had frittered away too much of my life, feeling badly about myself and badly physically. And how many other people are in that boat, or how many people could avoid decades of frittering away your time because of food. Yeah, got a new doctor, writes Judy Tucker. So anyway, people say I never find you like. Here's what I don't like asking for subscribers. I think it's tacky, but here's what you have to do if you want to get notifications. You have to subscribe to the channel. You have to click the bell icon that is next to the word subscribe. And last step, you have to make sure your device, your computer, your tablet, your handheld, whatever, allows for notifications from YouTube. Because some people say, I want to get notified, but they have all notifications turned off on their device. So there you go. All right. Any other success? I mean, Judy's. Now, if Gray's Custom Trim was here, Gray could talk a good story too. And Gray will always say, don't eat the food that has, if the food product has the word keto on it, it's not. This is how I would say it. It's not even close. They will tout net carbs on the front of the box because they can. Look at the back. Look at the label. Now, this is the United States. I think in England, they don't give the nutrition. They don't give the total carbs in the back. Look at the total carbs. Don't subtract out fiber. Don't subtract out grams of sugar, alcohols. Look at the total grams of carbohydrate per serving, and then look and see what a serving is. Because, sometimes we think a serving is like the entire package. Nadja Newhall writes, love the live. Sadly, Crowdcast still doesn't work for me. And the snippets. Okay, snippets are not on Crowdcast at all. They are through Patreon, and they're actually YouTube videos that I link back down to Patreon. So reach out to me, or here's what you sometimes need to do. You need to, if you're on a handheld, this is a good thing, not just for this stuff, for anything. If something's not working, if it's on a handheld and you're using an app, delete the app, reinstall it. If you're on a computer or laptop, clear your browser's cache, CACHE. And it's a little different for each browser, but do that. It almost always works. Judy Tucker writes, please don't stop telling everyone about keto. Even if you touch one person, that's one more healthy person. Thank you, Judy. Judy Porterfield writes, clothes are way looser, off meds, more energy, no cravings. People are so concerned that we won't be able to get through the cravings. First of all, a craving is not a life emergency. You're not going to die from a craving. But if you stop eating something, you stop craving it. Oh, before I forget, this coming Tuesday, April 5th, the online, possibly the last online version of the Durham support group meeting with Dr. Eric Westman and me. You can see it at my schedule on my blog. Just go there and you can register. It's free. Starts at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, goes for an hour and a half, and he takes all questions. And then the following Monday, the third Monday of every month, I'm restarting my Go Keto with Casey meetups in person at Wine Styles in Greensboro. Again, you can see that at my blog under schedule. I do ask for head counts that you just let me know you're coming. I need to let the proprietor know. Laura Hudson writes, Casey, what is the magnesium you take? Okay. And Nadja says, sorry, meant to say, love the snippets. Reach out to me about Crowdcast. Okay, we'll get that fixed. It's not my thing, but I'm a part of a beta team testing version 2, and I've learned a whole lot. I take, and my husband does as well, MAG 64, which is a slow release magnesium chloride. There are many formulations of magnesium. This one is specifically shouldn't give you tummy upset. It's what we take. I take 3 in the morning with my coffee. At the same time, I don't space them out or anything. I have found the most economical way to purchase is at Amazon, 5 containers at a time. And so you can see a link to that on my blog I think it's under my favorite things or resources or something like that. Hey, Gray's Custom Trim. Little crafty nook. Hey there, I just woke up. Healthy brother started keto after seeing my success. Didn't need to lose any weight. All his body aches are gone. It's far more than weight loss. Absolutely. It's about health. There are thin people who are just as sick as they can be and uncomfortable. And there are heavy people who are perfectly healthy. It's those are the outliers. But that's great. Congratulations for you. And Gray's Custom Trim, if you want to share your personal story. Diane Wallen, hi, my sister started carnivore 3 months ago to help heal. She recently saw a Netflix show, What the Health, where she said they blamed meat for causing cancer, obviously plant-based. You can find a documentary that'll convince you of anything. Don't. And it's in the plant-based agenda. It's an agenda. It's not based in science. But there you go. That's okay. Do what works for you. I know you're not saying that you do that. Bet Möge. Hi, Casey. It is really never too late to start keto. I started 5 years ago. I'm 73 now, and I still love it. Greetings from Germany. One of my first patrons, and she still is a patron, is Kimmy. And she will occasionally get on our video group sessions, depending on the time, because there's obviously a time lag behind. Love her. Kimmy. Liebchen. Marquez Curry. Do you take electrolytes? No, I do not. Judy writes, amen, Grace Custom Trim. Good for you and your brother. That's awesome. Judy Tucker writes, wish I lived closer. I'll miss the meetings. And I don't know. We'll discuss. I believe we're going to have an in-person Durham support group meeting, fingers crossed, in Durham at the Duke Hilton, or the Durham Hilton near Duke, first Tuesday of the month. Allo, bitte. Sue W. writes, yesterday we had a staff meeting with Carbs. My boss said, eat something. I said, I don't eat between meals or junk carbs. That's old advice. I don't eat between meals. It's like, your great grandma would have said that. Don't eat between meals. No snacking. We just eat, we eat too much food. We eat too much food. There. Janice Pate writes, I have had 4 major cancer battles. I started low carb 4 years ago while battling cancer. I've been in remission for 3 years as of March 12th. Congratulations. I myself have been diagnosed and treated for cancer 3 times in my life. The first when I was a young woman and pregnant with our 3rd child, and it was an invasive adenocarcinoma. It was very dramatic and scary. And then another separate cancer, and then a recurrence several years later of the second one. Anyway, sucks. I feel there's no guarantee against anything, but I feel like I'm doing the best I can do to make myself as healthy as possible, to boost my immune system, to be strong. But congratulations to you, Janice. Hey, Ange, the link for the Durham support group meeting doesn't work. Just goes to a black screen. I've tested that several times. If you're working from my blog, I test it compulsively. So again, clear your browser's cache. Sometimes if you've clicked on something before, it kind of remembers it, and particularly with the beta version of Crowdcast, clear your browser's cache or mess around with the app. Gray's Custom Trim. I lost 255.2 pounds in 12 months following a very simple protocol. Real food from a regular grocery store. If it says keto on the label, turn around and run. Now, if you need more proof than that. All right. So I'm going to log off and start my day, because the whole point of doing this is not to spend your whole day thinking about food. It's to live your life. And I've been living mine, and I need to do some things around here. I will be sending out hundreds of these cards, which I'm happy to do. I like creating. I like designing things. I may suck at it, but I really like it. So keep your carbs 20 grams or fewer a day, total, not net. If it's not on page 4, link below, don't eat it, but you don't even need a food list. Don't eat if you're not hungry. Stop when you're satiated. And I am me. I am no one else, and no one else is me. Just saying. Like I said, they couldn't pull it off trying to be me. Right? Okay. Thanks, guys. Thank you for allowing me to be part of your Saturday. And until I get any reason to change, I will do 9 a.m. Eastern on Saturdays. Ciao for now, and toodaloo, caribou.